I just got off that bus there. I'm in Belén, canton of Belén, and it's windy. And I don't actually know why I got off here. I could have ridden to the center of town, but I was kind of feeling cooped up, so I decided to get off and walk for a while. So Belén is a canton of Heredia. It's to the southwest of the main part of Heredia, and it's kind of wedged in between Alajuela and San Jose. So it's like southwest of Heredia and northwest of the main part of San Jose. And it has several facilities here, including I think Intel is here. And as you can see here, we do have a nice park. So far, my verdict on Belen is that it has nice sidewalks. Also, I hope I'm getting the stress on the name right. So if you were wondering, Belen is a canton that is a friend of bees. Also, if you were wondering, this is an automobile-free zone. And this is a pretty nice park. Nobody's here today. And it's actually not that small. It's pretty big for a park in the city and clean. And I'm going to go for a walk because we also have some nature here. There's also a little free library, or the equivalent, not an actual official little free library. And every book in it that I can see is in English, and some of them are specifically like pretty technical lessons in bobbin lace making. Interesting for somebody, not for me, so I'll leave it for somebody else and continue around the park. So this park is more extensive, more natural, and more tranquil than I thought it would be at first from the bottom. I kind of feel like I'm in nature just a little bit. We have a good view here that also shows where Belen is related to other things. So that right there I think is Escazú. And then as we go this way, this is Santa Ana, where we've been before. And then going this way, this is towards Ciudad Colón. And then you can see where the Central Valley kind of opens up or ends. And that's the way, of course, to Punta Arenas. Before I leave the park, I also just want to point out there's a playground, there's a shelter with a table, there's exercise equipment, there is bike locks, and there is recycling. So there's a lot of features in this park, including, of course, also there's a drinking fountain. So I have to leave, but it was a nice place to visit. So I left the park, and now I'm just walking westward into the center of Belen. And it's only a mile, should be 15 minutes, and I'm not in a hurry. And as you can see, despite being in a more or less urban area, we do have some rural areas mixed in. Pretty common in Costa Rica to see agricultural and residential areas really close. Cheek by jowl, if you will. And also, of course, a lot of the same businesses you would see everywhere. A lot of oil change and tire change and hardware and batteries. And I even saw a store, not a dentist's office, but a store for dentists. So, we are still in Costa Rica. But also, for example, we have a farmer's market, a feria. Then in the distance, looks like we have a development or a gated community of some sort up there. A lot of different things. I am actually a little bit surprised because I thought this would be more still in the city, but it feels kind of like I've left San Jose. And even though we are far from Limon, more or less, Goligan's Comidas Carbenas. Limon in 10 minutos. And there's even a mural celebrating the Black Star Line. So even though we're in one part of Costa Rica, all parts of Costa Rica are present in the other part. If that makes any sense. I walked just a little ways down the street and found this little neighborhood corner park, which looks nice. But turning around, you can see there's a fence here and there's a river on the other side. And as I've said, in many other places, a river like that would be an attraction. And here, it is very much fenced off. So I just wanted to show that. Wanted to see what was here. I'm gonna walk back into town because we still haven't seen the center of town. So I'm just a couple blocks from the center of town. You can see those church steeples there. So it should be there in a couple minutes. So right there, we have some railroad tracks. I'll return to that later. And here I am in the center of Belen. There's the church over there. And it's interesting to me that for whatever reason, right now I feel like I'm in a different town. When I was in Barva and even on Santa Barbara, I felt like I was in Heredia, even though I kind of had to leave Heredia to get there. This is in the canton of Heredia, but even though it's not physically much further, it actually feels like I'm in a small town. Just a different vibe, and as you can also see, a different use of space. And I don't really know if that's objective opinion, but that's just how I feel here. I love Belén. I hope I've been getting the stress right on the name. And if you turn this way, this is the train station. The old train station, also the current train station. There is train service here. Next train leaves in an hour or less than an hour. And you can also see there's a bus here. So this is almost like a transit center concept. And the trains here do not run often. I mean, none of the trains run often, but this one is only a few times. But this is the one train I haven't taken yet, or I haven't taken all the way, so I'm looking forward to that. So speaking of trains, I'm going to walk a little bit further back along the tracks. So I'm walking west out of town along the railroad tracks. And as far as I know, Belen is the last station. And the tracks continue though, and I was under the impression, I don't know where I got it, that Heredia and Alajuela was the main line that continued west to Punta Arenas when that line still was functioning. But apparently I was looking at the map, and this might actually be the main line, and Heredia and Alajuela is a branch line. So if the train line ever does get reconstructed so you can go to Punta Arenas, this was where you'd be going along. But I'm not going to walk along the train tracks for much longer. I'm going to go back. I want to see the church, make a few more comments, and then wait for the train. Well, that's beautiful. I hope that shows in the video. We have an arco-iris in the background. Interestingly enough, I think it was just a week ago we went to Santa Barbara, which is up that way, and which is actually about where that rainbow ends from our viewpoint, and we had arco-iris then. So maybe I should think about Heredia not as the city of flowers, the canton of flowers, but as the canton of rainbows, or province of rainbows. So this is something I've noticed in several places here, is they actually have names by the trees, telling its common and botanical name throughout the city, and in this plazetta too, plazoleta. And here we have some sculptures, which apparently are like turtles made out of hubcaps. Over here we have a butterfly made out of hubcaps. Then you have the church. You have some other things, including over there was another little free library, or parque biblio as they call them here. So a lot of nice little pleasant things, including recycling. And that by itself doesn't make a town a nice place. They have a few cutesy little things. But in my time here, and I've only been walking here for an hour or two, it really does feel like this is a nice place to live, and that these features are kind of a reflection of that, not just a facade, I would say. It's also relevant to mention, I was looking this up online, and apparently this canton has the third highest HDI in Costa Rica, like Santa Ana, Escazú, and here, probably. So this is a pretty wealthy area, and a lot of places in Heredia are. But this one also feels nice. It's not just about money. It actually feels nice. And they even have a cantonal commission about climate change. And you can see that in just like a lot of things like pollinator gardens and stuff like that. Electric charging stations. So a lot of times in places like this, especially it's only, 4 square miles, it's pretty small. And a lot of that actually, a lot of money comes from, multinational corporations. I think there's several foreign tech businesses in this area. You know, sometimes some of those things can go skin deep, and I don't know how deep it is, but what I feel like is that some of the quality of life things and community things here are actually part of the community and aren't just like pasted on the surface. So I'm back at the train station. There are 6 trains per evening that run along this line. 3 of them start from here, 3 of them start from Papas, where we've been before. And it's still another 20 minutes until the train is scheduled to leave, and we'll find out if that's true. If not, we have a lot of buses because we actually do have something like a transit center here. And this is often the case when I take trains. I don't know how good of footage I'll get on the train. If it's crowded, I won't be obnoxious. Also, I'm at like 18% battery, so we'll see. Heredia. This is Papas Station, which is where I went from last time I went on this line a year ago. And I'm at 1% battery, so I'm gonna shut my phone down now. I hope this rail ride has been interesting. So I just got off the train, Estación Pacifico. Still have 1% battery left. So some of the things we saw on the way back kind of speak for themselves, and so I don't need to explain it. Belen is nice. Some of the areas went through, we did see some poverty. A lot to say about that, but beyond kind of the scope of this video, especially because I only have 1% battery left and I have to get home. It's about 5 o'clock, and I'll probably end up just walking home.